Welcome to Inside Design with Caren Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joann and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hi, everybody. This is Joann with Inside Design with Caren Cole. Today we're airing episode number 24, and I'm very excited that we have a certified kitchen and bath designer guest with us. Kelly's on vacation. She's visiting family in New York, and we thought rather than reschedule our podcast, let's have a couple of guests in. So today I have Caren Danneman, who is with Danneman Designs. She is a certified kitchen and bath designer. She has over 20 years of experience. She's a winner of the NARI, which is the National Association of Remodelers Incorporated, of this CotY Award for bathrooms in 2015. She's a really, really smart lady. She's written many articles on kitchen and bath trends, and she has sat as a judge for Baths of the Year for Atlanta Homes and Lifestyles. She specializes in kitchen and baths, but she also creates home offices, like we talked about last week, unique laundry rooms, and really creative and special built-ins. The team includes other designers around Atlanta and a group of contractors whom she partners with to bring the designs to life. So welcome, Caren. Thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here.
Well, great. Well, I had a lot of choices of people to ask to be on the show, but through my experience in interior design and remodeling of kitchen and baths and organization and storage, Caren came to mind first because we mentioned that, it takes a village sometimes, and designers need contractors. Contractors need kitchen and bath designers. If you really want to take your space to the next level and to really make it as custom as you want, this is the kind of person that you will need. So let me just start with asking Caren how she starts that process.
Well, thank you, Joann. I think the most important step in all of the designing process is getting to understand your client and what they need, their family needs, the way they function. How do they cook? How do they buy things? Do they entertain? Do they want the people in the room when they entertain? And at first when I send a questionnaire to them, I think they roll their eyes because it's 3 pages long. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Who's the cook in the kitchen? Do you cook ethnically? Do you cook gourmet? And,
do you cook at all?
Or do you exactly? And I have some of those too. It sure does look good, but it still functions for the next person.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I can't do a thing until I really figure that out. And of course, then we look at the room itself and talk about what are the possibilities of expanding that room to meet their needs. If it's storage, which everybody says, I want more storage, but they also want to tear down walls. So that's kind of difficult, to do. We're really looking at a creative side of your brain and the practical construction side of the brain. And so we're trying so hard to meet their needs. Oftentimes on the first meeting, they want to talk about color and the color of the walls. And we go, well, we've got a lot of backing up before we get there. That's just about one of the last things.
Yeah, that's like the exciting part. But really, if you can get the functionality, the organization, and all that right, the beauty will come. It's just being able to marry those two things is the most ideal situation. And, these are expensive remodels. You want to get it right.
Exactly. It's really terribly important to understand if the kids are going to be sitting at the bar and doing their homework, or if that bar has no seating and you just need storage all the way around on an island. You also need to know what age groups are going to be there, and do they need to pull up for a wheelchair, or just are there really tall people and they need a taller island?
See, this is such the value of what you bring, because I don't think people even think about this. Like, they don't know to ask these questions. So yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Well, and everybody stores things differently. Does this sound crazy? I ask, where do we want to put the Tupperware? And do you use Tupperware, unwrap, or how do you do this? How much do you have? What kind of things do you like to display in the kitchen? Do we need some glass cabinets to display some antique cookware or milkware? There's just so many personal things that you've got to take into advantage. So many times people will design a kitchen and it's just kind of rote memory. The sink goes under the window,
Yeah.
And we just try to make it look like a kitchen that's had a designer in there, and so that it's creative but extremely functional, and just has a wow factor when you walk in.
Well, I think the kitchen is probably the most important room in the home. It's the one that, when you talk about ROI, if you're selling a home, your kitchen a lot of times will sell the home or will not sell the home.
Exactly.
So I think if you're going to invest, you might as well get exactly what you want. Like when you were talking about spacing, like I know people that shop at Costco, they might want to buy the big bulk, but they just don't have room for it.
Exactly.
So those kind of questions are really important.
Well, you talked about ROI, your return on investment. And what I also try to do is give them an ROE, return on enjoyment, so that when they move around that kitchen, they have elbow room to clean and put things away, that appliances doors are not down in the way and they're stumbling all over each other. And so that's what's so critical about understanding the family. And then the layout. When you're a certified designer, you have to go through a lot of training and a huge test, as if you were going to go from a house designer to an architect. And what you learn there is actually the construction of a building, from its foundation to its electrical and plumbing, and what can be supportive and what cannot.
God, you have to know a lot.
Well, but it's so fun. You eat it up. It's just.
I love the return on enjoyment. That's a good one. I'm going to have to use that.
All right.
So tell us, Kelly and I, went to the Kitchen and Bath show and we talked a little bit about some of the trends and the new products. But tell me what you've seen and what you like.
Well, I think that it's so quick the way people learn things anymore. Everything's online, and then with all of the kitchen and bath remodeling shows on TV, everybody knows this. They want an open concept. So then that presents a challenge of storage and what views are going to be opened up. And that's a real point of where I partner with Joann and Kelly on turning it back to them, or because now we've involved a living room, or now we've involved a dining room, and that is not my forte. So we partner on these issues to make the rooms copacetic and flow, and the colors go well. Another thing that is really important right now are islands. Everybody wants an island. It's so wonderful to go from a peninsula to an island because of the traffic flow. Mm-hmm. You can walk around it and get out of the kitchen. You're not trapped in the kitchen.
It's kind of command central.
It is, absolutely. We want open shelves on the walls. But then again, that presents another problem. If you're using gas cooking and you're doing a lot of stir fry, you're creating a lot of grease in and your ventilation has to be really good. So, and again, you're still going to need closed storage. So when you're tearing down your walls, where are you going to use this closed storage? So we're incorporating glass cabinets for glasses and dishes in the drawers where they used to go up in the wall cabinets. And hopefully we've got a pantry around the corner.
So you're using kind of like plates in a drawer.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a pegboard system that you put in the bottom of it that you can take the pegs and move them around to fit your dishes and bowls.
See, the average Joe doesn't know this. This is why it's so great. All right, go on. So let's see what else you got.
Well, another thing is, especially when the older kitchens, because, oh my gosh, there's so many cute neighborhoods in Atlanta around Decatur. and they all want to have this upscale look. Well, they all have 8-foot ceilings, right? And except for the add-ons on the house. So one of the ways to make the ceiling look taller is to take the cabinets to the ceiling. No more do we have that dust bunny habitat on top of the cabinets.
We used to put, oh my God, I'm even embarrassed to say, we used to put ivy up there.
Oh my.
And, jars and just decorate them all up. Oh my God, I'm horrified
and then
now.
we'd put rope lighting to show it all off.
Yeah.
And but once a year, if we did that, you'd have to climb on the counter, and it's gross.
Yeah, I love the cabinets to the ceiling. And sometimes,
Yes.
even if you have a little bit of a taller ceiling, I've seen people put like seated glass up at the top and light it up to give it a, just a little extra.
Well, speaking of glass and lighting up, the LED lighting is so incredible. It can be as small as a Scotch tape with little tiny beads in it. It's very low voltage. It doesn't use any power. And it doesn't heat up. You remember the halogen puck lighting underneath the cabinets?
Yes.
Well, I dare you to put a stick of butter or spices or anything like that. It generated a lot of heat, and or get paper towels anywhere near it. So the LED lighting is wonderful. We're using it vertically on the sides of cabinets, across the ceiling, up underneath. We're using it inside base cabinets and dark cabinets for Lazy Susan. So when you open it, it can.
So when you go for the middle of the night snack?
Exactly. You can be much sneakier. You don't have to turn on the room light. And, so one of the other things is, and this is really your bailiwick, I've noticed from little tiny pendant lights, lighting is what you see when you first walk in the room. And if you have chosen an improper light fixture, that whole room looks awkward. Sometimes ugly.
Yes,
so
really the statement lighting over the islands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I will confess I have an opinion, but I am not as trained as Kelly and Joann in that regard, and they just know all the really cool stuff. So that's where we partner.
We all have a place.
Absolutely. Another thing that I've seen a lot of, and that is not just running tile in that 18 inches between the base and the wall cabinets, but taking it all the way to the ceiling, running it around a window, running it all the way up behind hoods. And it just again makes the ceiling look taller. So
remember the days of, I guess we call it the backsplash.
Yes.
Where, above the stove, you'd have a little bouquet or something.
Exactly.
But you're right. Now you're seeing, even in bathrooms.
Yes.
I'm seeing, full walls of tile.
Yes.
Which, not only looks good, but think about how, as far as wear and tear. Like you can't really hurt that.
Exactly. In the bathrooms, we used to stop the tile just above where the glass doors were, and now the shower glass doors, and now shower glass doors are at least 80 inches to 84, and so that a gentleman stepping into the shower is not going to have to duck. Yes. And then you might as well take the tile all the way to the ceiling. What are you going to do with that little bit of wall that's getting all steamy?
I've never seen in any new remodel, it's always to the ceiling. Wonder why they stopped. I don't know. It just doesn't make much sense.
Now, when I've got a 14-foot ceiling, sometimes I stop it. But, but typically, and also I've noticed in trends and tile, of course, the trends in tile move quickly. And I think that if you're someone who's thinking about remodeling a bathroom, and I say a bathroom because it's 90% tile. That's the design feature, that and the lighting. And you've got to get out there and get out of your mind what you thought was cool in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And you've just got to get out there and go online and go to these tile places. And you're just going to be blown away at the gorgeous new, water cut, they call it jet cut, mosaic tiling, all kinds of beautiful materials, with seashells and just everything.
And those ones that are just a little pricier or higher end, use them in smaller smaller ways.
Exactly.
Still get the wow factor, still get the, the big look, but you don't have to use it, all over. So there's ways to, do the high-low, especially with tile.
Exactly. You can put a border around the floor in the bathroom. You can just use that beautiful tile as a backsplash for your vanities instead of using your countertop material, and that repeats it around in the room a little bit better. So, but I know you talked about this, but one of the other things that I have to know in a kitchen is, where are we going to vent? I can't really even begin to place cabinets until I can find out whether we're going to downdraft or updraft, and how are the joists running, and how can we get that out of there. And then when I can determine how many turns and twists and the lengths of the ductwork, then we can determine how much power that the liner or the hood vent needs to have.
Yeah, well, we did talk about this too. The hoods have become a design feature in themselves.
Absolutely, such a focal point. Whether they incorporate glass, whether they're wood,
copper ones are cool.
Zinc.
Yeah, there's so much.
Well, it's just and some are costly, but again, it's all part of the overall budget. And the hoods are incredible, whether they've got strapping and nail heads, whether they're sleek and modern. Some hoods actually, like over an island, are really they're really just recycling, but they look like a light fixture. It's just incredible.
Okay, what about appliances? What's happening new in the appliance world?
Well, I know you had an incredible podcast on this, but they are so smart. They have cameras in refrigerators that can tell you, how much, what's in there. You get to the store, you think, oh, did I have milk? Did I need butter? And it can scan what you're doing. Some actually can print out and let you or email you a list of things that they know you normally have in there. There are mats and sensors that can go underneath kitchen sinks to tell you and alert you if there is a water leakage. And people that have second homes, every single one of those should have those under the bathroom sinks, by a toilet, under the kitchen sinks.
I've known so many people that have had this happen when they were away. Is this kind of a pricey thing, or is it?
No, it really. Well, you consider the
alternative.
The alternative. It's really not that bad. I'm not going to try to quote it, but I will tell you, it's
it's worth
for
it.
The value. It's much worth it. Absolutely. So, and also when you're ready to do your kitchen, you've just got to go and see all the new appliances. I know induction cooking was popular. It was really never really popular, but it was costly. But induction now is a smooth glass contemporary look. It's done with magnetics, so you can put a paper towel underneath your pot, turn it on high. The pot's drawing the heat. The pot's actually getting hot. The paper towel will not burn. Now, that's not to say that the glass isn't a little too hot to your touch, but it's not going to ignite. And 2/3 of the burner has to be covered before it'll even turn on. So let's say you lay a metal spoon on top of it, it won't turn on. It's very, very efficient, much more efficient. It heats up faster than a 17,000 BTU burner, even though that's a real macho burner. But, when you've got a great big pot ready to boil your pasta or your lobster, that induction cooktop will do it faster. And also, because the surface is not heating up so much, you don't get that burnt on, from overflows on the surface, so it's easier to take care of.
Needless to say, probably safety too for kids.
Oh my, yeah.
I've known a couple of accidents that have happened on those burners.
So it's safer, it's fuel efficient, and it's cooking efficient.
I'm sitting here thinking, what does the average person how does the average person find somebody like you? Because you have so much valuable information. People, I think, they look for a contractor. Some will hire a designer, but to find somebody that has your knowledge and this certification, how does a person find somebody like you?
I think the best place to start is to go online to nkba.org. It's the National Kitchen and Bath Association. Some people think that is just an industry private website, but it is for homeowners too. When you open that site up, you'll see a whole section for homeowners. It will give you tips, rules on spaces. It's a huge help to homeowners. Then when it says, help me find a professional, then you type in your zip code and they will give you a list with phone numbers. Then you can start to interview these people. And I would say that even over a good phone conversation, you're going to have a really good feeling about someone. The prices are going to vary just depending on who they are, but it's well worth the money because it's all about how it's going to function for you and your family. And they're going to bring a little more creativity and to the design and to the home than your builder can. I will tell you that most of my referrals come from builders because they want this project to be their shining star. They want that extra creative look. And so I come in, they kind of give me their parameters, then I meet with the client, I bring the builder back into the scene for the presentation so he can say, yes, that's doable, that's great. And then, I'm there on standby through the process for any questions.
God, it's just a win-win. I just don't know how people can really get a perfect, remodel without knowing all these extra little things. So, I know you do kitchens and baths and you do all kinds of, kind of storage organization, but is there anything that you've done that's, been a little off the wall or unusual?
Well, I think one day I got a phone call from Kelly and Joann, and they said, would you remodel a Winnebago? And I said, well, I don't know. Tell me about it. Well, it just so happens in Joann's neighborhood, she had a wonderful, exciting neighbor who had a vision to have a mobile dress shop that she was going to go to sororities with. And I thought, okay, so I've never designed a clothing store before. So I went to go see this Winnebago, and it was rough.
It was really rough.
It was rough. But the people had such passion about it. And so, again, you start with the interview. So I talked about how many sweaters, how many shirts, how many scarves, how much jewelry, how many dresses.
It's just like a closet almost.
It's a closet. It is, but it also had to be displayed in a way so that when you walked in the door, you saw what they wanted you to see, and everything was lined up in a way that there was a dressing room. And
you had to fit in as many things as you possibly could. So, it was a whole thing on sizing and spacing, too. So, I thought it was just
fun. It was really fun. Mm-hmm. And it turned out, of course, Kelly and Joann had the bones of it and jazzed it out. So it was just incredible. I think there's a wonderful article written about it. So
yeah, there is. It's we've written a blog about it too. It was really cool. So we'd love to partner with people like Caren who help us do our job better. Everybody kind of has a place. The builder has his knowledge. Caren has her knowledge. We have ours. So when you partner with people, you get a really, really great end product. So we could probably talk. I mean, there's so much more to talk about. But we don't have time. So I'm so excited that Caren came on with us. I'm sure you've learned a lot in just the few minutes that she's explained things. So I found this inspirational quote, which was perfect for today. And this is it. design is not just what it looks and feels like. Design is how it works. And that's from Steve Jobs. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. It has to function, it has to be beautiful, and it has to feel good. And I think that's what the goal is,
Absolutely.
So I'm missing Kelly today for the funny quote because she always finds the good ones. But this is not necessarily a quote, but I just think it's hilarious. Okay. So number 1, going to bed early. Number 2, not leaving my house. Number 3, required naps. Number 4, reading. Number 5, not going to a party. My childhood punishments are now my adult goals because I love to go at bed early. I'm pretty okay with not going to a party, especially if it's on a Friday night because I'm so tired and I'm ready to just be done for the day. So next week, I will be gone. I will be visiting my family in Cleveland. So Kelly is going to have on Carrie Peoples. She is an organization expert, and she'll talk all about closets and ways to keep organized and all that. So thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you, Caren, for being here with us and for all your great knowledge. If you want to check out Caren, you can check out her website. It's Danneman Designs. It's DANNEMANDESIGNS.com. And thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
Join Joann and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at CandrackCole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at candrack-cole.com for more information.